What is up, YouTube? Rev and Ride Garage here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to swap the gauge clusters in an 04 to 08 Ford F150. Come up to this door, pull this little latch underneath, come around, and open up the hood. Just a little latch right there. And now you're going to come up here to this battery in the top left and disconnect the negative cable. And whenever you take this thing off, make sure you tuck it away kind of back there so it doesn't touch while you're in there. And then you're gonna come right back over here to the driver's side door and look underneath the dash, and you're gonna see these two little black bolts right there and right there. You're gonna want to take those out with a 7mm socket. And once you get those two screws out, put your hand right here and just pull this thing off. And look in kind of the same spot where you pulled it off. There's two black screws right there and one right there. You're going to want to take those out. Then whenever you're going to want to get those two screws out, you're going to want to flip down that little switch and put the steering wheel all the way down. Hop up in the driver's seat, and then you're going to want to just pull out on this because this is really fragile and this could break up here. And I think these are like 150 bucks. So you don't want to break that. Once you pull this out, there's going to be a little connector back there. I don't know if y'all can see that, but you literally just stick your fingers in there and pull it right out. It's real easy. Then you can just lift this right out without scratching anything. You're going to want to come up here and you're going to want to push down right here while on that little tab right there. Push down on it with a screwdriver or something and then unplug it. And then once you get those connectors taken out, there's 4 bolts right there, exactly the same 7mm you use to take out the under parts. Now, once you have all the bolts out, you're gonna be able to lift this thing out of here, but don't forget the little column shifter. There's like 2 little pins, and you're gonna squeeze them. I'll just show you on the new one. Here's a new one. You're gonna see these 2 little pins down here. You're just gonna squeeze it, and it'll pull out just like that. Now once you have the new gauge cluster in, you're going to want to put in all those bolts. Now once you get done tightening all them down, you're going to want to plug your connectors back in and just click that, and then do the same on this one. Click. And then you're going to want to put this cover back on. Make sure you click in that little connector back there. And this thing will just set right in. Make sure you put those bolts back in right there. And make sure you tighten them down pretty nice, but not too tight. And make sure you carefully just put these tabs right back in where they were. And make sure you tighten down those 2 bottom bolts. You're going to want to come back in here and put your negative terminal back on right here and tighten it down. Just an old trick my dad taught me is you're just going to want to put a socket there. And I know I'm doing this wrong because you got to use a hammer. But you just beat that in. And it should just sink that in. Y'all should try that. And then after you get the battery plugged back in, just come down, shut your hood, walk over here, and start up. Works like a charm.